The Flash Season 8, Episode 1, Armageddon Part 1 has just released as of the time of recording this 3 days ago, and I want to talk about it. This is Film Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Film Talk. I'm your host, Bryan Schink. My fellow host, Hunter Farris, is out for this week, but you'll get his solo Film Talk next week. I hear it might be on Last Night in Soho, so if you like that, maybe stick around. But this week, we are talking about TV, because TV is still film. And so this week, because of The Flash Season 8 finally premiering, I thought I would talk about that episode, because The Flash has been one of the most constant shows in my life, not regarding plot or how good it was, but regarding something that I can look forward to and enjoy. Even though Season 7 wasn't all that good, I have optimism going forward. So, before we begin, let's get into a basic plot summary. In Armageddon, Episode 1, Barry and the team must take down the Royal Flush Gang, who are attempting to steal $50 million in cryptocurrency from casinos in Central City, all while Ray Palmer is visiting for the weekend to attend a tech conference. Chester wants to help Ray get back into the tech game by planning a pitchathon at CC Jitters for him. However, Ray doesn't really want to get back into tech. We also get the first part of the Armageddon 5-part special with our first look at Despero. And let me just say, there is a lot to talk about with Despero. So, let's get into it. It'll be a much shorter episode than usual, but I think it's going to be worth it. So, to begin with, I want to preface by saying that The Flash is one of my favorite shows on television. Not because it's good, but because it's The Flash, and Grant Gustin is my favorite Flash. No question. There is no Flash that I like more than Grant Gustin. No actor, no character. Because I grew up with Grant Gustin, really. However, I would be hard-pressed to say that Season 7 was good, because it wasn't. Seasons 6 and 7 were not particularly great. And this is coming from somebody who really liked Season 5. I really liked Cicada. I did not like Season 6, and I could not stand Season 7. But it seems like Season 8 is getting off on the right foot. From what I'm seeing online, there's not too much hate regarding this episode of Season 8. In fact, a lot of people really enjoy this episode, which is so good to see from a show that's been going downhill for the past few seasons. Now, can they keep this up? I have no idea. That really all depends on the writers staying consistent throughout the season and not introducing bull crap later on down the line. But if they continue to follow what Episode 1 has laid forward for them, I think we're going to have a really great season. Now, on to my notes. First up, let's talk about Despero's CG. It was incredible. For the Flash TV show, CG has been a very, very iffy thing. And when Despero first showed us his alien form, I about fell out of my chair. It looked amazing, especially in the sunlight. Now, it's so easy to do CGI in a dark environment because you won't see it too much. You won't see the flaws. It's so much harder to do that same CG in the daylight. And I think that they did, for a TV budget, Despero's design incredibly well. Honestly, it's one of, if not the best CG characters on the show, rivaled only by Gorilla Grodd, probably. Now, on that, all of the budget must have gone to Despero in this episode because Ray Palmer's shrinking and growing and flying, it was kind of iffy. I mean, it was good, but it's not like what it was on Legends of Tomorrow, because that show could dedicate a good portion of its budget to one of the leads. In this show, being that he's just a guest on The Flash, they really had to go all out on Despero, and I think it paid off. I think Despero looked amazing. I think the CGI looked amazing. The acting from Despero was amazing. The one thing that I can say kind of took me out of the show was when he walked up to Barry and he just said his name in a sentence. So basically, so like the Barry knew what his name was, instead of them being able to weave into to like the dialogue. Barry saying like, "Who are you?" And he says like, "I am something like I am Despero, and I have seen your future, Flash." Something like that. That sounds more CW than what he actually said. If I can find it, I'll put a clip in of it right here so you can hear how unnatural it sounds.
It's already happened, Flash. That's why I, Despero, have to kill you.
With that being said, though, the writing for this episode is probably up there with some of the better recent writing for a CW show. Now, I do have a couple contrivances. They use the term level up way too much in this episode. Say it once, maybe twice. They said it like 7 times, and after like the 4th time, it loses its punch. But I mean, that's kind of what they were hoping for. Not hoping for. That was like the theme of the episode is they want you to know that the Flash has leveled up. But they can't do that by just showing him do something like really spectacular, like save people from a train or 2 in 12 seconds. No, they had to tell you Barry's leveled up. Oh, what's her name? Light Emission Lady has leveled up. Oh, the Central City Citizen has leveled up. The Royal Flush Gang has leveled up. It's just like, okay, we get it. They leveled up. We don't need to hear it. We understand that that's what you guys are trying to say, but showing is better than telling. And that goes a long way. Now, let's talk about the Royal Flush Gang real quick, because I didn't know these characters existed. They might have been like in an episode in the past. I don't remember that. I'm probably wrong about that. But I really liked them. For an opening villain group, I thought that they were very good. I thought the acting was amazing. The writing was CW corny, but that is fine for this group of corny CW-esque villains. And I guess their plan was pretty generic CW, but I don't expect anything less from the CW, and I thought it worked really well. I don't think they were able to like include the cryptocurrency reference naturally. It did, although it was to me that it didn't sound natural. But at the same time, it's an interesting idea. Rather than like stealing cash money, they're stealing cryptocurrency, and I think it could have been handled a little bit better, but the way that it was handled was perfectly fine. I had a lot of fun seeing the Royal Flush Gang just like doing their thing and being all corny, and that's amazing. There are some characters you can make corny and cheesy, and they work. Now, moving on to Ray Palmer. Now, in the episode, there's a subplot where Chester Runk wants to like get Ray back, like help Ray get back on his feet in the tech world. So he sets up a pitchathon at CC Jitters, brings in all these like young entrepreneurs who have tech ideas to pitch to Ray. However, Ray doesn't want to get back into tech. He wants to continue doing research and spend time with his wife Nora. However, because CW, he gets this pitchathon sprung on him last minute, and instead of like going through and like listening to the pitches and giving advice, he tells Chester, he's like, hey, I don't want to get back into the tech industry. I want to do my own thing for now. And that's completely believable. It's completely understandable. Ray has been a superhero and a tech genius billionaire dude for a long time. But Chester takes it like a CW character where he gets really sad, and before letting Ray finish, he stands up and makes a big scene in Jitters, and then attempts to avoid Ray for the rest of the episode, which, I don't know, didn't feel natural to me. Now, of course, this is just episode 1 of the season, and that's one plot line I think that felt unnatural for the season, which is not it's not a critique on the entire season as a whole. And because it was just the one self-contained storyline in episode 1, it didn't really lower my enjoyment of the episode. This episode was still very, very good. It was enjoyable. It was fun to watch. The writing and the acting were CW decent. There wasn't any Joe West, so we didn't get that like next caliber writing or acting that you would have gotten from Joe West. But we got Ray Palmer. We got Barry Allen. We got Despero finally. Heck, we got a scene at the beginning of the episode of Barry and Caitlin in CC Jitters, and it reminded me of the whole Snowberry thing. Honestly, I think the two of them should have gotten back together. Or should have gotten together. I'm not the biggest fan of Iris in the show. This episode, she is much, much better than she was at all last season or the season before that. But there's a long way to go before I consider her to be a good character. They've just really thrown her character in the dirt and crushed it. And I don't know, there's something has to happen in order for me to actually like the character again. That being said, it's totally possible and very plausible that it can happen this season. Because if they continue to write her like they wrote her in this episode, I think that will end up redeeming her character. So yeah, the jokes landed. Everything felt really, really awesome. I enjoyed the episode. And I just hope that they continue making episodes like this. Alright, so here is the point in the episode where I give my ranking of the episode. And for this episode of The Flash, I give it a ranking of 7 out of 10. Not perfect, not great. A very good episode. And that puts it in first place for the season. Now, I am going to probably start doing a weekly series for this show in the same style as the podcast. So, if you are seeing this for the first time on the official Film Talk podcast day, this will probably go up on either Thursday or Saturday when I don't usually release an episode. But you will get a Flash review, quick Flash review, less than 15 minutes on one of those days. So if that's something that you're into, make sure you tune in on either Thursday or Saturday, depending on when I can get it out, to hear my thoughts on that week's episodes of The Flash. With that being said, however, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like button if you did, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next upload. Take care.